It's become the latest divide in race relations. States across the country are trying to get it out of schools, but there is little evidence that it's even being taught. It's called critical race theory, or CRT, and here's what it means. Critical race theory is an academic framework that centers on the idea that racism is systemic. It's typically taught in colleges and grad schools, even though some politicians incorrectly argue that it's a subject in K-12 schools. Ever since the murder of George Floyd, there's been an increased discussion on how systemic racism is taught in schools. With only 8% of class time devoted to Black history, many feel that K-12 schools have whitewashed American history, often omitting the contributions and perspectives of people of color. A recent example of this happened in 2015. A 9th grade textbook by McGraw-Hill Education described enslaved Black people from the 1500s to 1800s as workers, next to a map of the United States describing patterns of immigration, implying that enslaved Black people came to America voluntarily. After a Black mother's viral complaint, it was updated. The writings that formed critical race theory date back to the 1970s. Late Harvard law professor Derek Bell and other legal scholars found that civil rights laws and legal victories have been unsuccessful in ending racial injustice. The goal of critical race theory is to try to overturn systemic racism, specifically in legal systems. Opponents believe that CRT suggests the nation is inherently evil, and that white people should feel guilty for their skin color and history of oppressing people of color. On May 14, 2021, some Republican members of Congress introduced a bill that would ban the training of critical race theory in federal institutions and highlight the dangers of teaching CRT in schools. And more than a dozen states across the country with Republican leadership are working on their own bills to get CRT out of schools, even if it's not explicitly in the curriculum.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this video, check out these other videos from USA Today to stay up to date with all the latest news.